I mean, the inspiration comes from everyone's desire just to go fly. I mean, who doesn't, as a little kid, look up the sky and see a bird flying and want to go do that? And I think it's in all of us. So, I mean, it starts there. More specifically, what's happened is the FAA has changed a bunch of the rules around flying to make it more accessible. There's a new category of aircraft, and there's a new license that's a lot easier to get. So that's what put this whole ball in motion. All right, now you've got this change in the landscape. As a result of that new environment, what kind of products can you create to then allow people to experience flying more easily? And our take on it is that there's no reason why flying can't be the most badass power sport out there. You look at jet skis, sports cars, ATVs, all of those categories and all the excitement around those categories, all that excitement should be in flying as well. The cool thing about the airplane is just this integration of just amazing engineering with really cool design. You just don't see that if you go out to the airport. Typically it's just all good engineering. It's very functional, which is why if you go to the airport, your typical airplane looks like it was designed 50 years ago, and you're like, what? Whereas if you go to like a boat show, it looks like it was designed last year, right? It's very current. So we're just trying to bring the most current contemporary design possible to aviation. So yes, sleek is part of it. Part of the challenge of doing that is where do you allow the airplane to be really expressive, and where do you kind of step back and let engineering do its thing? And so like out here at the nose, there's a lot of character in the nose. That's cool. The airflow is very forgiving here. If you get back by the engine, we're much more hands-off and let engineering do its thing. And you'll see that throughout the airplane. Engineering take up there, the wing fold, that's a huge feature for us. It allows you to store it compactly, but also you can put it on a trailer and drive it around. You can drive it out to a lake, whatever. It means you don't have to be tied to an airport environment. You can take off the water with this. It's got retractable landing gear. That's super cool. You want to hang with your buddies at the lake, you can do that. You want to fly up to Santa Barbara with your girl, you can do that too. People are always stunned by how easy it is to get into flying now. It's 20 hours of flight training will get you a sport pilot license. You could actually get that license 2 weeks of full-time training. That's an FAA license. That's not anything we created. It's actually really smart and it's really safe. What they've done is they said, all right, we're going to take a certain kind of flying, which is more like the off-road kind of flying, like off-road motorcycle riding, off-road flying. You're away from the busy airspace, and we're going to create a license that's just for that. And if you're just doing that kind of flying, you only need a certain set of things. If you want to come over here in the busy airspace, we're going to give you some additional training. So start here, learn to fly there, build up some hours, and then come over here. So this airplane is designed to have fantastic visibility. And in most airplanes, your instrument panel will be way up here. You're like trying to see over. Here, the whole world is laid out in front of you. We kind of joke sometimes that flying this airplane is like having your own personal IMAX experience, right? Because the world's just there. It's a big thing for the designer. He wanted, he wanted that predatory bird look. So if you look at predatory birds, their wingtips are never up. It's always like coming like that, yeah. So it actually worked out well. I mean, just the integration of both the engineering and the design that came together on that front. And you'll see throughout the airplane that Randy really tried to pull in these influences of both birds, but also fish, like he was watching Shark Week when he did his original sketches.
The front kind of reminds me of a shark head or something.
Yeah, like a mako or something like that. And there's these little, just these little lines and little forms, and it just, so when you look at it, you might not even think about it, but it communicates an element of what this thing is meant to do, that it's very comfortable in the water, that it's a little aggressive, right, but also flies really well. And it's subtle, but you'll see that throughout the airplane, and that to me is what makes it a great design. But basically everyone we show the airplane to wants it. Like that's their response. Oh, here's this little video. Oh, I want that, right? We have 500 orders now for this plane, so it's a 5-year backlog. You order today, you're waiting 5 years. Things in aviation take a lot longer than other categories. It's not like a cell phone where you can go from 0 to 1 million units in 3 years. But we think that the potential to see a lot more people flying is definitely there. The desire to fly is there. It's just for so many decades, people have been kind of tied up both with the regulations. Then if you go to the airport, the planes, they're just kind of boring looking. They're not that exciting. They're not that cool. And that's what we're trying to change.